Hey everybody, welcome to Sled Talk, where we talk everything snowmobiles. I'm Rob Reed.
I'm Steve Glass.
And we are going to cover everything from pulling your hair out to pulling the cord on your snowmobile. There is nothing that isn't on the table for discussion. How you doing today, Steve?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Busy in the shop.
I see that. Yeah, it's really getting full of pre-season sleds and a lot of good stuff going on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything unique?
Customer-wise, not really. A lot of Polarises right now.
And yet all I see behind us
Oh, there's
are
a Skidoo.
and a Skidoo.
Okay, Polaris.
Skidoo.
Yeah, okay. There's more Polaris.
Well, it just goes to show you which one's more popular. You know, obviously people love their Polarises.
That was my fuel line argument, or people's fuel line argument too.
Oh my God, yes.
The reason their fuel lines fail more often is there's more of their snowmobiles on the snow still.
Yeah, well,
Could be.
Yeah, and again, there would be less broken down Polarises if they sold less of them, but they're obviously the most popular sled out there.
Yeah, not the best, but the most popular.
Isn't popularity and best kind of usually go hand in hand? Because if they start breaking down, people buy something else?
It's got to do with price and stuff like that too.
Oh, really?
I think so. They might have been cheaper. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know if you're right about this one. So let me ask you about barn finds, Steve.
Okay.
So barn finds, first off, is that just kind of like the mythical, everyone talks about it, but it never really happens?
I know where there's a snowmobile in an abandoned barn right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
And it hasn't found its way into your yard yet?
No, because we weren't supposed to be there looking at it.
Oh. All right. Because it just seems
No,
that whatever you
that.
touch or look at ends up in your yard.
This was a snow cruiser, and it's not very desirable to me, but you're right. I just picked up a Rupp the other day, and that wasn't really on my list either.
Yeah, because I remember very clearly you saying to me, no more sleds till after Christmas. No more sleds this year. The caveat was Christmas was basically the end of the year.
Yeah, that's true. And I've got 2 more coming, I think.
2 more yet. So that's 3 above and beyond.
People are starting to realize that I will take their junk snowmobiles, and they don't have to take them to the dump or try to sell them.
Right.
And then they're letting me know about them, and I'll say, yeah, I'll take them because I don't want to see them go to the scrapyard.
Right.
That's how I've gotten the last 4.
Okay.
Which is great. I love it.
Yeah, okay.
At least you get to look at them. Like this Rupp, I've never had a Rupp before. There's some neat stuff on a Rupp, and even if I never fix it, I just like to go through the thing one time and just see all the stuff. Yeah.
Well, and I will give you credit because I was talking to one of your cousins just yesterday, actually, and we talked about the number of sleds that you have and how many of them are actually in running condition, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're trying.
I know. And I get that as you get to some of these older, real, true vintage sleds, it's not so easy to get them running.
That and some of the ones I have, I want to restore them really, really, really nice. So most of the ones I have running now showed up decent looking, and we just got them running. But the ones like my Blizzard, my Sonic, I don't want to just get them running. I want to really spend the time on them. So
yeah. So barn finds are a real thing?
Did I tell you that the snowmobile that I put a big thing up and gave away is on Facebook Marketplace right now for sale?
No.
Yeah. I'm not going to give any more away.
Yeah, I guess lesson learned, right?
Yeah, barn finds are a real thing.
They are.
I think so, but they're hard. Like, there's got to be snowmobiles everywhere.
Okay, well, because, I mean, you see these things with classic cars and
I think
whatever you're into, they suddenly show up as barn finds. And I really don't know, like it's just kind of going to the Pickers show where they've got people everywhere digging and calling and, you know, we're coming to your town, who's the guy to talk to, whatever the hell they're doing, I don't know.
Think about how many snowmobiles were sold and blew the motors up, especially the really cool high-performance ones, like say an SRX or something, right?
Right.
Blow up, get stuck in a barn or stuck in a shed somewhere, and never looked at again.
Yeah, that's possible.
I bought a super nice Phaser 2 off of a guy quite a few years ago, and all it was is it had been sitting in his shed for the last 10 years, and he brought it here for me to get it running. And I just said, hey, how about you just sell it to me instead, because it was a nice-looking machine, and I bought that. So.
Okay, so here's a question for you, and we've seen a couple of these already this year, where guys have put their ads out there saying, I've got a yard full of sleds, and I'm clearing out. And generally, I think the caveat behind that is his wife has said, clear the yard or I'm leaving.
Could be.
Or she's already left. Which, I guess if you're one of those guys that starts to get up there in a disorganized pile of sleds in your yard, think real hard about how badly you want those sleds.
Yeah, that's true. I know, and they're sitting there still, right? Like, some of them are just... I know of one pile that a guy showed me pictures of, and there was some really cool stuff in it. I think there was a speedway sled in there, and there was a drifter like I got the other day, and none of it's for sale.
Right.
And he'll let very few people even on his property to look at it.
Right.
And this guy couldn't tell me who he was or where it was because that was the deal. He had to at least look at them.
Okay.
And what's going to happen to them all?
Well, he's going to either kick the bucket and someone's going to come and take them to the scrap yard, or maybe they'll post them, and it depends who gets their hands on them.
Because if it's someone who knows nothing about them and just wants the property, is just going to get them all hauled to scrap, and or
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
100%. Because maybe the right person gets their hands on them, and maybe that person does something that makes sense with them. But if it's someone that doesn't have a clue, that just wants, I'm an executor and I got to deal with all this stuff, I mean, it may all end up in the dump.
So I should put prices on all mine.
You should. Yeah, yeah, exactly. At least let Don know.
I've told my nephew, you're sorry bugger, man. You're going to inherit like 30 snowmobiles one day.
So, Steve, we always like to share a story of things that have happened in the past.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago, we were going out to our cottage in Point du Bois area. We had a club cabin, and we always went out there for rides. And there was a back way in. It's in the White Shell, and we loved getting out there and doing our rides. But one of our buddies and his wife went out the night before. And then we're coming out, and as we're going along the trail, this is not a groomed trail, this is a backcountry kind of thing.
Down a hydro line, eh?
Or along a hydro line, yeah. And we would be picking up a toolbox, and then, I don't know, something else, and slowly. And finally we got into the bay where the cottage is. And we've collected all this stuff, and we're going, what the hell were they doing?
We were coming in at night, I think, weren't we?
I think so.
Or evening, anyway.
It was evening. But they were a day ahead of us.
Yeah.
And there was this snowmobile, now buried in slush.
Yeah, frozen in slush.
Frozen in. And we're sitting there going, are they even alive anymore? So we finally got across. They were in the cottage. I guess they'd walked across the bay from there.
Yeah.
And they had the fire on, and it was all warmed up. But man, you're sitting there thinking, man, did you not notice all your shit flying out here? And I guess they didn't. But Jimmy strikes again. I
remember seeing the snowmobile frozen in slush, but I can't remember them getting them out or us getting them out. So maybe I just went riding and left them to it or something. But
I remember getting out there.
I had to hack them out.
Yeah, we did. I remember getting at them with an axe to chisel them out of the ice because they were frozen in rock solid.
Yeah, and I think it was a big panther or something too.
Yeah, he had a big. Can't remember what it was at the time, but anyways, okay. For anyone that needs to know this in the future, don't leave your snowmobile sitting in the slush overnight.
No, that's
because
bad.
If you think it's hard to get out now, try to get it out when it's frozen in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're by yourself, right?
Yeah. I love talking about the what was he thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And recently, in Kamloops.
You jumped down a lot there.
I know, I do that.
Okay.
That's a nice thing. It's our show. We do it our way.
I know. I'm just trying to follow along.
Okay. All right. Okay. So in Kamloops, and I've just recently been in BC.
Yeah.
Drove basically through that area in one of my latest acquisitions, and that's a story for another time. But coming through Kamloops, the police out there had broken up, I guess, a drug ring.
Right.
For lack of a better thing. And I guess these drug guys must think they're James Bond or some damn thing. I really don't know, because they had stolen snowmobiles, they had guns and ammunition, they had fentanyl, they had smoke bombs. Like, I mean, what do they think? They're the crime lords of James Bond? I mean, what are we doing with all this crap?
Yeah, it seems a little weird.
Yeah, smoke bombs.
Yeah, well, home invasion or something.
I guess. God only knows. But I mean, again...
Or maybe they just like lighting them off.
Maybe.
We like to make up smoke bombs when we were kids.
Yeah, well, could be. But it seems like an odd combination of stuff. I've got my snowmobile, I got my trailer that I've stolen, I got my fentanyl. Let's get good and high.
Yeah.
Set off some smoke bombs, shoot off our guns, and no one's going to notice.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're not thinking right.
I guess that's the fentanyl part, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's like when you've just broken into somebody's house and you've stolen all their stuff and you've got guns and everything with you. It's not smart to do 140 miles an hour down the highway and get pulled over for speeding.
No,
but you hear that story a lot.
All the time, yeah. But to go back to a previous story, one that's I've really been unhappy to hear about. I'm glad the guy's getting it. But the wolf guy is now been in court, and he has pled not guilty. Again, how stupid. You've posted pictures of yourself with the wolf, torturing the poor thing. Your buddies are there. There's witnesses like crazy. It's all over social media. I didn't do it.
Hard to deny that one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I really hope they throw the book at this guy.
Yep.
You know, because he's
an idiot.
He's an idiot. There's no, I want to use stronger language, but I'm assuming that there's the odd kid that watches or listens to the show, and got to be a little more careful, right?
Yeah, and respect the wildlife.
Yeah, well, for sure. Well, wolves are endangered.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
You know, I mean, what the hell?
Do you remember on the Prime Meridian there was a guy that was raising horses?
Mm-hmm.
Every time we got near his farm, we'd just slow right down, cruise by super slow down the trail, not to scare any of the horses.
Right, just not to, yeah, exactly. I mean, it really didn't ruin the ride. You slowed down for a few hundred yards.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't scare the horses. Don't chase bunny rabbits. Don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, but to stay on kind of the national stuff that's going on out there, and this one's in the States, Polaris has just recently donated $135,000 to the Trails Grants Program. And the idea is that money filters into the club so that they can continue building, maintaining, and taking care of their trails and the other expenses. They do this twice a year.
Right.
And Polaris is giving $250,000 annually to clubs in both U.S. and Canada. Now, I'm thinking the $250,000 split on both. It's not $250,000 to U.S. and $250,000 to Canada. But nonetheless, good on you, Polaris.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Makes
again,
sense. It's just support or promoting their products and riding, right?
Absolutely. But I'm glad to see the manufacturers understanding that without the trails and without the support of the clubs and without all of that, the whole snowmobile industry, the thing that we love doing, starts to wither a little bit. So good on you, Polaris, for giving back.
You need good trail system. If you just go bombing all over the place, little municipalities just ban snowmobiles or ban quads from their area, right? Mm-hmm. You have to have somewhere to ride, stay on the trail, and don't upset people. I mean, it's not hard to get people mad at you when you're like honking on your throttle past their house at night and stuff, right?
We've got the big fart can on, and yeah, midnight or later.
And I know lots of municipalities, well, two at least municipalities around here have banned ATVs because just the destruction and driving through town and stuff. Yeah. So stay on the trails and use the trails and.
Well, and what you said there is critical, Steve. Stay on the trails.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are letting, like a lot of farmers, you know, let's be clear about this. A lot of farmers are allowing clubs to use their land. But as soon as people go off those trails, because they've designated a spot to go, but maybe they've got winter wheat in, or maybe they've got something else going on, and people go off the trails thinking, oh, look at this great big field, I'm going to shoot through it. The farmers get a little pissed off. Maybe they're, like you say, too close to the barns or where pastures.
Winter wheat.
Yeah, whatever. All of that. And they say, oh, you know what, screw it. Nobody's respecting our land. You know, we're pulling it on them. And I see this on forums. I see it on the different Facebook pages. People talk about this all the time. Guys, ladies, stay on the trails.
Last year, riding in the Turtle Mountains, we were following the trail, and it did a turn, and the farmer had clearly posted to stay off his fields at that corner.
Yeah.
Nothing but tracks going out into that field.
Yeah.
Our family farm at the lake, Groom Trail crosses it. That entire farm is a track, which our family doesn't care about. But it just, you know.
But if you were farming it, and you had, like you say, winter wheat or something in there, that wouldn't put up with that.
If we were one of those people that wanted people to stay on the trail, that trail probably would have been closed years ago. But it's used as a playground, and we use it like that too. So we don't care. But I just stand at that trailhead and just look at the snowmobile tracks fanning out every inch of the farm. You know.
Yeah, I've watched it time and time again where trails change, and you ask someone from that particular club why. Well, they pissed off the landowner.
Yep.
Guess what? It's the landowner's land. Respect it.
We had a farmer up in the Turtle Mountains too, where he had like vehicles in his yard that had gotten kind of buried in snow, right? Because it's their property.
Right.
And the trail was quite a ways off beside the vehicles. And he's okay with that because you're not getting near anything. And then he posted that there was like tracks going like, a foot away from his cars that run to the snow.
Yeah.
And he was really upset about that.
For sure.
Because he doesn't want them driving over top of his cars, and he doesn't want anyone getting hurt either, right? And that's why the trail's over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Total sense.
Yeah.
Steve, what have you got for us for a tech tip?
Tech tip. I'm just going to go on a little bit about rebuilding motors.
Okay.
And mostly it's got to do with buying snowmobiles with rebuilt motors, or if you're rebuilding your motor at home. Tons of ads of people saying fresh top end.
Okay, we've had this conversation a lot, you and I.
There's certain motors that are worse than others, right? And if you see an ad that says fresh top end, either run away or really do your due diligence, talk to the guy, find out why it's a fresh top end, and find out why that motor failed.
Yeah, or why he didn't go deeper.
Yeah, because any motor that's older than 10 years old, especially now, maybe even current, like a few years old, the way the ethanol's wiping out seals. I did more crank seals last year than I've ever done in my life.
Right.
Any motor, you should take it out and inspect the crank and replace the crank seals.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the motor went down because of a bad crank seal, and it's so easy, just like when we were kids. We just kept on putting pistons in our motors. We didn't know why they were going down.
Yep.
And then you sell them.
Yeah, and then you pissed off, you sell the sled.
Yeah. And if I bet you, I don't know, half the ads I see say fresh top end. Run away.
Okay, so stay with me on this one.
Okay.
You're buying the gasket kit to do the top end.
Yeah.
How much more is it to buy the gasket kit that includes your crank seals and your base gaskets?
$10.
$10 more.
Yeah, 10 or
All right.
$10 more. I mean, but then you have to take the motor out, right? You actually have to take the motor out of the sled.
Okay, so it's a little more labor. You're doing it yourself.
Yes.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to cost you $10 for parts.
Yeah.
And maybe another 6-pack, 12 beers while you do this because you got your buddy over and he's drinking a little bit too much of your beer. But you know what? Honestly, for less than $100, you could do this right, top to bottom. And I know you, when you're doing this, because you have the equipment to do it, pull out the crank.
Yeah.
You run it on, make sure it's true. Now, not everyone has that. But changing those gaskets and those seals.
That seals are huge. Like there was a fellow on Facebook the other day who had a 600 SDI motor. So I love those motors, super reliable. And he bought it, had a bad top end. He was asking about doing the top end and what he should look for. And myself and a couple other people said, don't just do the top end. Like those are super nice motors, but it was a 2007, so it's at that age. It's past that age. Pull it out, do the crank seals, make sure everything's right, and you'll have a motor that's going to last you for years and years and years. Yeah.
Well, and my daughter's snowmobile, we bought it with a blown motor. And when we showed up to look at it, it was still in pieces. The guy had taken it apart.
That's a nice way to buy a snowmobile.
Yeah, because we could look at the one piston. I knew it was a cold seize.
Yeah, that's exactly. If you can guarantee it's a cold seize, then like if you're going to buy, if the guy's, well, you can't see it yourself, but if a guy did a top end and he can guarantee it's a cold seize, and that was the problem, then okay, maybe, but.
Yeah, but what we ended up doing was still tore that whole engine right down, did it top to bottom. We used one of your benches here because you've got all the stuff that was handy. And it turned into a little project for her and I to work together. You want a newer snowmobile? Let's rebuild this motor. Yeah. And did it. Changed the seals, changed the gaskets, checked the crank just in case, because it doesn't take much to throw a crank out.
No, that doesn't. And these new Skidoos need Isoflex grease in the cranks too, so it's a good time to do all that.
Yep.
Instead of just top end. Plus, you never know if you blew a top end. What did something fall into the bottom end?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's my tech tip. Just stay away from top end rebuilds and do them properly with a top and bottom end.
Yeah, unless, and like you say, the caveat is maybe you know the guy.
Yeah.
Or he's answered your questions. Like, be thorough when you're asking.
You got to feel he's honest and he knows what he's talking about, and he can explain to you why. That's the big thing. People always talk about their motor being blown up, and I go, you need to know why. Like, take it apart. If it's a cold seize, you'll see it. You'll see the 4 scuff marks on the piston, right? Then you can go, okay, that's what happened.
Yeah.
If you see some dimples in the top of piston, well, maybe that's a bearing cage coming apart, right? You got to know why it blew up, address that, and then fix it. And if you take the whole motor apart and you do crank seals and you inspect the crank, you've addressed everything, whether you know why or not.
Right. Yeah, and as soon as you get those the jugs off, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm thinking about the old days. And of course, we talked about how many times you and I rebuilt engines and things, long before Performance Supply was ever thought of. And we were just kids fixing our sleds and doing what we had to, and they did blow up. But we used to do that spring ride. And we've talked about the spring ride years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And we did it for a very long time. And there was always an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Usually Jimmy had something to do with the adventure, one way or the other. Even in our conversation with Terrace, a couple episodes ago about safety, we talked about how someone had bit through his tongue. It was Jimmy.
Yeah.
But one of the things with the spring ride was the last person to arrive was the person that had to drive Jimmy to the hospital. And that became a rule. We had to create Jimmy rules.
Yeah, they had to leave their vehicle parked at the end of the lane.
Yeah.
And that was me twice.
Yeah, and so you learn not to be last. Because, like I say, the last person in was the driver to get Jimmy to the hospital.
Yeah.
So
another rule was never follow him anywhere.
Yeah.
We made that up early. Never follow Jimmy.
Yeah. We had another
We'll end
rule.
up in the middle of the bush with nowhere to turn around.
Yeah. Well, and we had another rule that was no cell phones.
For Jimmy.
Because every time Jimmy got hurt, he would phone usually his wife and say, come rescue me because my idiot friends aren't taking me to the hospital.
Yeah.
And because we'd, do our triage on the snow and go, that's not hospital worthy.
Yeah. You can wait a few minutes.
Yeah, you can go have another beer and sit back.
Yeah, my favorite one was when his wife showed up and just sat down with us for 20 minutes. Before she took him to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Make him suffer.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that might have been our last spring ride.
I know it was...
It was shortly after that, and it was,
Well, as Jimmy was compiling the war wounds, because understand, he was about the only one that ever got hurt.
Yeah.
But as he was compiling his war wounds, it became... Well, we were all getting the evil eye from our wives, because, come on, you guys. Well, it's just Jimmy.
Yeah.
Not me. It's not you.
Nope.
But he did it.
Yeah.
But...
and it was his place, so that kind of shut us down.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like my product?
If you've got a product you want to brag up, I will let you brag it up.
Clothing.
Okay, clothing is critical. Okay, so Steve,
Yeah.
when we did our conversation with Terrace,
Yeah.
we got into a little bit of clothing.
Yeah.
And we talked about helmets a fair amount. What we need to do is go a little deeper because helmets are critical.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, helmets are critical.
Yeah.
Good visors so you can see where you're going, so you can stop before you hit the tree, that sort of thing. But
Done that.
what else is critical?
You know what? I won't sell helmets because I think everyone should try on their helmet and make sure it fits and it's comfortable and get what they want. And
Makes sense.
And I can't stock them.
Right.
Clothing, though, like I've got a few different brands that are available to me through Sun and Snow and Rec Supply. But I have been buying CKX gear. And the way I decide if I want to promote or sell this clothing is I buy it for myself.
Right.
So those are my leather gloves, and they're one of my favorite pairs.
Now, you've had these for a while, haven't you?
And I've gone through a lot of different leather gloves because I like wearing gloves. And they're nice gloves. They're comfortable. And then these boots, feel the weight of those boots if you don't mind.
Yeah. Oh, they're light as a feather.
I know. I've never seen a pair of boots this light in my entire life.
So these boots were made for riding?
Yeah.
And that's just what they'll do?
Exactly. Again, though, they're CKX boots, and I love them. Like I thought, okay, if I'm gonna tell people these boots are good, I'll buy myself a pair. And they're my favorite boots if I want to wear a big pair of boots because I can't believe how light they are.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, the boots I'm wearing these days are
100 years old.
Oh, no. I finally threw those away, remember?
Okay.
I think we had a ceremony and everything. I had the white Sorels.
My cousin's the only person with a pair left now, eh?
Yeah, it could be. I had a white pair of Sorels. And
we all did.
We did. But these boots were just so finished. The backs were torn out of them. The sides were torn out of them, which was fine in snow because, the liners and everything kept them dry. But as soon as I stepped into water, you were soaked.
Yep.
And so Finally,
That's
I
why
said
you need
goodbye.
a good pair of boots.
Well, I have another pair of Sorels now. They're black.
Yeah.
They're those 80 below units
Yeah, they're good
with the
boots.
steel toes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
And they are heavy.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
super
certainly not like.
I've never seen. When I bought those boots, I thought I just was blown away, like just how light they are. I never had boots that light before. And then even their pants. A buddy of ours bought a pair of their pants last year. He likes them. They're super nice. They were, same thing. I wasn't selling them to just anybody, but a friend wanted them, so I ordered a pair in, and I was impressed with the construction. They weren't like a light nylon thing that was going to tear up real easy. So I'm happy with the CKX stuff. There are a bunch of other brands I can get, but I've been just buying this because I haven't been disappointed with any of it yet.
Right.
It's all warm and comfortable.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What next?
Well, like always, as I was telling you, winter goes a whole lot faster when your hand's on the throttle, right?
Sure.
So we ought to make sure that, snowmobiling is all about performance, right?
Yeah.
And Performance Supply is all about ensuring you have a great snowmobile season. I want to remind everyone to subscribe. We've got the YouTube show, and it's taken off pretty good. We want people to like, share the program. We're certainly loving the dialogue we're getting on the different Facebook groups that we're getting into.